coaches that could or should be on the hot seat. So I want to get your hot seat meter. You tell me the level of temperature that's coming off of the seat of a Mr. Ron Rivera right now.
Well, I mean, look, anytime there's a change of ownership, unless you've had a track record of great success, there's going to be changes. Josh Harris, from this time with the Philadelphia 76ers, what he typically likes to do is hire somebody and let them run it. He is pretty much hands-off. He wanted Daryl Morey, couldn't get him. He hired Sam Hinkie. And then the league made him hire Brian Clanton, and eventually he got Sam Hinkie. Eventually he got Daryl Morey. That's who he is. So if you're Ron Rivera and you're Marty Herney and Martin Mayhew, you kind of know there's changes coming to the football side. Now, can you prevent them? Probably not. So I would say, I don't know what our level of hot is, but this is hot on two fronts. Not playing well, not coaching well, and changes will ultimately come. They're definitely going to come. When you do their numbers, they are the 31st. They throw the ball more than any team in the league, and they rank 21st in yards per attempt. Okay? Think about it. They rank 21st, and people say, well, they really throw the ball. Everybody quotes Sam Howell's numbers. He leads the league in passing yards. When they played the Giants in the first game, there were 18 punts in that game out of the 28 possessions. They couldn't move the ball in the Giants. They couldn't move the ball. They were 1 for 15 on third down. So when you're playing against a bad team like the Giants and you can't do anything, you're going to be in trouble and you lose to them. Here's what I don't understand if I'm Rivera. I'm first in passing attempts. I'm 32nd in rushing attempts, yet I'm 21st in yards per attempt passing, and I'm 10th in rushing, but I'm going to do less rushing and more pass. It doesn't make any sense.
Well, that's the Ron Rivera special, not making any sense. Also, the riverboat thing is completely gone, by the way. Sam Howell speaking of that offensive line and the struggles that they have had, Sam Howell on pace to be sacked 80 times this year, and following the 2-0 start for Washington, dropped 7 of their last 9. How about your boy Brandon Staley, Michael? Because after this past week's game against the Lions, which was a quintessential Justin Herbert game, right? 4 touchdowns, 1 interception, 38 points on the board, but it's a loss. Just another loss, by the way, for this Los Angeles team when they've scored 30 or more points. What is the level of heat for Mr. Brandon Staley's seat?
Well, I think it's I would say 85 to 90% hot, right? They're 31st in the National Football League in defensive yards allowed. They're 32nd in first downs allowed. They're 32nd in yards allowed passing. But it's a little better. They're only 30th in yards allowed per attempt passing. Okay, they've improved there. This is not a well-coached defense, and that's what he was hired to do. That's what he was hired to do, was coach the defense. Other than the Jet game and the Bears game where they held them down, they can't really do anything. So I think it's going to be pretty hot. And I think the problem is they've got this generational talent who doesn't play like it, and they can't win close games. They just cannot win close games. So I would say it's really hot.
And they are 1-3 when scoring at least 30 points since the start of last postseason, which of course includes that wild card loss to the Jags when they gave up a 27-0 lead. How about Frank Reich? I know that it's his first year in Carolina, but it has been really rough offensively. We already know the whole deal with the first round pick and what they traded to get Bryce Young. Owner David Tepper reportedly not happy. They have the worst record in the NFL right now, 3rd worst offense, given all that they've put into it. What's the level of heat?
I think it's pretty hot. Look, you hired Tepper to fix your quarterback position. You hired Frank to fix your quarterback. Now, he's changed coordinator. You're going from this guy to that guy, back to this guy. What system are you running? What are you doing? I think he's in trouble. I really do. And I think the owner's embarrassed, and I've known this in my career. When the owner gets embarrassed, you're in trouble.
I think at the level of heat is a spicy jalapeno pepper. You see, I like a lot of people that are making the memes also of Frank Reich right now from what he looked like with the white silver fox type of hair from when he first got the job earlier this season to now disheveled, the dark gray coming in. This season has taken a toll on Mr. Frank Reich. How about Bill Belichick, Michael? We've talked about this a lot lately, given the game out there in Germany. Patriots are 2-8 right now, their worst start through 10 games since 2000. In fact, this is a franchise that didn't have 8 losses in an entire season from 2001 to 2019. We are not used to this. There have been reports Robert Kraft is not inclined to fire Belichick during the season, but might reevaluate after the season. How do you think things play out, and what's the level of heat?
Well, I think the level of heat's substantial. I mean, because Kraft himself has admitted he's not happy with the record, and who could be? I think they didn't expect this. They don't have a bad team. They really don't. I mean, I think Dietrich Wise said this today. We don't have a bad team. We have a bad record. That's true. I mean, they've lost more one-score games than any team in the National Football League. I mean, they're 20 in points decided by 7 points or less. They're 1-5. I mean, they can't make a play. They can't win one of those close games. And when you can't win close games and you have chances, it puts you in a lot of trouble. So, but I do think it'll happen at the end of the year. Look, there's value in Belichick. There's tremendous value in Belichick. And Mr. Kraft is way too smart to just let him go. He could get compensation for him. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of places besides Twitter that thinks Belichick's still a good coach. And I'm sure he'll have great opportunity to get there. I mean, this team has played in 7 games that have been one score, and they're 2-5 in those 7 games.
We have about 90 seconds left here, Michael, and 3 coaches. So give me just a quick snippet.
Right,
Start
I'll
with
go fast.
Mike Vrabel.
Vrabel's like Belichick. At the end of the year, he's going to get a huge extension, or someone's going to try to trade for him.
How about Matt Eberflus, 6-21 in Chicago?
I think it all depends on how they finish, but I think he's in definite trouble. Kevin Warren's the new president. I think he's going to want to get somebody that he wants in to be the coach.
They've already let go of course, David Walker, their running back coach, defensive coordinator, Alan Williams. So maybe is this the end of the rope for the Bears head coach as well? And your guy, Arthur Smith, 18-26 out there in Atlanta. Falcons have lost 3 straight. Michael, I find this interesting to a rookie quarterback in his first NFL start with Will Levis. Josh Dobbs, after being with the team for 5 days. And then this past week, Arizona with Kyler Murray's first action off an ACL tear, and arguably the least talented overall team in the NFL. What's his future? How's his seat?
And they threw for 70 yards against this defense. 70 yards. And you're and you've drafted all these skill people. I mean, logically, it makes no sense that he's not on red hot. I mean, really, it doesn't. I mean, like, where are we? We got all these offensive weapons, and we're 24th in offensive football and scoring. I mean, we turn the ball over. We can't really make any plays in the passing game. I think he's in trouble. I really do, in spite of what Arthur Blank says.
Yeah, that's what The Athletic has reported, that Blank's been supportive of Smith. So the seat is cold right now based on that, but maybe in January a different story, because based on what I've seen in the usage of Mr. Bijan Robinson, of Kyle Pitts, of Drake London, it should be like a hot Tostinos like thing that boils your mouth and hurts the roof of your mouth. That's how hot it should be, Michael.
Go to VSiN.com/subscribe to become a VSiN Pro subscriber today.